the whole world, the mind is affected. Can you understand the concept now? This is called global mind. Okay. So when the mind is agitated, the mind has got only two nature. One, the mind gets excited. Okay. We want excitement. That's why in relationship, we ask our partner, you love me or not? You love me or not? Why? Because we want excitement. We know they love us or he or she love you, but you want excitement, not enough. You cannot believe human mind. It will go into excitement, it will fall into depression. It will go into excitement, it will fall into depression. That's why we're having multiple relationship. One relationship break up and then another one break up, another one, and a lot of divorce and all that is because of the fluctuation of the mind. This is one example I'm giving you about mind. The mind also gives problem to your health. Anxiety, stress, tension, it will affect your life. Let me tell you something, God also cannot help you. God is not going to come and tune your mind, hey, this person is already in depression, let me increase it to stability. God is not going to do that. So the responsibility falls in your hand. So what is meditation? Meditation is fine tuning the mind. Tuning the mind in the frequency of alpha, delta, theta, like that. So the first state of the mind is called beta. It's very, very imbalanced. So why we do meditation? We don't want the mind to play or influence us. Are you all with me? We don't want the mind to influence you. Most of the time when you go in the highway or when you're crying or when you're in emotion or somebody disappoints you, it is actually the mind. It is not you. The real you don't care about mind. It lives by its own. The real you is can you can live without the mind. Okay, the real you is called the higher self. Okay, it use the mind. Okay, for an example, now let's say I'm like this. Okay, then this arm. Okay, I lost this arm. So what the mind will tell you? The mind will tell I'm not going to look good. I become under the category of handicap. The mind goes on talking, 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 thinking, thinking, feeling, feeling, feeling. Now, let's say the higher self. Okay, I'm a higher self. I lost the hand. Okay, the higher self is not emotional. It is devotional. It's straight use the left hand. He got no time for all this emotion. He straight use the left hand. What can I do in the left hand? It will straight. Let's say you are an author. It will straight train the left hand. Right. Tomorrow we start writing on the left hand. It straight goes to the mission. But the mind doesn't go to the mission, it goes to the issues. So in our life, my boss is an issue, my colleagues are my issue, my spouse is an issue, my finance is an issue. You cannot get away from the mind because the mind works on issues. Whereas the higher self, when it loses its hand, if you're in the higher self, you immediately look for the solution. You don't work on the issue, you work on the solution. If you are having a relationship problem, you will call the spouse, you'll sit down and talk to the spouse without fear, and you will find a solution. So these are the difference between the mind and the self. The self is many, many, many times more powerful than the mind, because the self not only use the left hand. If you lose the right hand, it uses the mind, it uses your feeling, it uses your education, it uses the time frame you have in your life. For an example, let's say you're 40. The higher self knows when you will die. For an example, let's say you're dying at age of 70. So the higher self knows you got 30 years balance. If you leave your life to the higher self will design a beautiful life in the next 30 years.